Hello, Philosophy 331 students. I'm Jeremy Dickinson, and welcome to my YouTube channel, Philosophy Clips. In this philosophy clip, I want to introduce Philosophy 331 to you in a couple different ways. The first way is by way of saying some things that are syllabus related, and the second way is by introducing the subject matter of the course. So let's begin with the first topic, the syllabus related introduction to Philosophy 331. Now, I'm assuming that the majority of you, all of you, have had a look at the syllabus by now, and I'm assuming that where you have questions is regarding the BWAs, the bi-weekly assignments. So let me say a few words about the BWAs. So the BWAs, they are non-cumulative, so they're designed to test you on the material that comes before them, that comes before their posting. The BWAs, they are not timed in the sense that they're not set up to where once you open the assignment, you have a set amount of time to write the assignments. The only way in which the assignment is timed is insofar as there is a due date and due time for them. So on Friday, after I post them, you can access the assignment until it's due. So hopefully that shores up some questions that you've had about the BWAs. Some other things I could note about them would be the following. You could expect that you'll have to write 500 to 600 words per assignment. To give you a sense of what 500 to 600 words looks like, it looks like about a 2 to 2.5 page essay, double-spaced 12-point font. So that'd be the total per BWA. This is a writing intensive course, so the assignments are themselves going to be writing intensive. Another thing to keep in mind with respect to the BWAs is that once I post them on Friday, consider that the same as my handing you the assignment in person to write. This is important because if I were to hand you an assignment in class, I wouldn't be able to then answer questions for you about what I've asked you about. I can clarify the questions that I've asked of you, but I won't be able to tell you any of the material. I won't be able to, as it were, answer questions that are substantive about the material that I've taught you leading up to the assignment. So keep that in mind. This should encourage you to keep up with the material and to ask me questions about the material where you have questions. Okay, so I think the last thing I'll note about the BWAs that's important is that the assignments are designed to be particularized to our course. So I've been teaching online classes for just about a decade, and I've learned how to write exams in such a way that in order to answer the questions to my satisfaction, they have to come from the material that I've taught you. This means that the answers won't readily come from Google searches and the like. Those may be able to help you a little bit, but they won't be able to help you satisfactorily in the class. I doubt that that's going to be an issue, but I just wanted to note that way, in case some of you were thinking that you could just rely on online sources to guide you, you'd be mistaken in that regard. Okay, so if you have further questions about the BWAs, please just let me know. Maybe a couple other things to note about things that are syllabus related before moving on to the subject matter of the course. I've tried to design a course that's pretty straightforward in terms of what's expected of you, and just in terms of what the weekly expectations are. The reading assignment will be presented to you on Mondays. That'll just follow the syllabus that's already been posted. And then from there, you have some time to do the reading and ask me questions, come to my office hours, my Zoom office hours, and then be on the lookout for videos on the subject matter for the course, what I've asked you to read about. Many cases, those videos will capture what taken to be really important from the text for our purposes. So that's what the average week would look like. You should expect videos to come later in the week. On the weeks that we don't have writing assignments, they'll come sooner in the week. On the weeks that we do have the writing assignments, that way you have access to the material in advance of the posting of the assignment, and you can ask me any questions that you have about the material prior to doing the actual writing. Okay, so hopefully that's clear enough. And again, if you have further questions, just let me know. Let me now turn my attention to just a brief introduction to the subject matter of the course. This is a philosophy course. This is Philosophy 331, and the subject matter is ethics. Let me say some things about philosophy and then turn my attention to the ethics. So philosophy can be defined in any number of ways. You could begin with its etymology. Philosophy is the love of wisdom, the love of knowledge, and that may be all well and good, but it may not be too helpful in understanding like what it is that we do when we do philosophy, or what it is that philosophers study when they're studying philosophy. So I think that it might be helpful if I just say a few big picture things about what philosophy is in terms of its major subdisciplines. So in philosophy, one of the major subdisciplines is what's known as metaphysics. Metaphysics concerns existence type questions, very general type existence questions like, well, what ultimately exists, or what fundamentally exists? And it's also concerned with the nature of those things that exist. So it gets after big picture existence questions and the nature of those things that exist type questions. That's abstract, but that's at least an initial few things to say about metaphysics as one of the major subdisciplines of philosophy. Another one of the major subdisciplines of philosophy is known as epistemology. Let me spell that for you. Epistemology, epistemology, epistemology. I spell that out for you because you may not have heard of it before. Epistemology is that part of philosophy that's concerned with knowledge. Philosophers historically have been acutely interested in knowledge, whether or not we have it, how we have it, if we do have it, and to what degree we have it. So knowledge is a big picture philosophical issue. So you have metaphysics on the one hand, epistemology on the other, as two of the main subdisciplines of philosophy. But there's also ethics. Ethics is, you could say, one of the big subdisciplines of philosophy, on a par with metaphysics and epistemology. So I don't mean to prioritize any of these disciplines over the other. And in fact, there's plenty of overlap between them. But I still think that we can talk about these three distinct major subdisciplines of philosophy. It's a helpful way, hopefully, of understanding what philosophy is about. So what is ethics about? I think it might be helpful initially just to say things that are intuitive about ethics. When you think about ethics, you're probably thinking, oh, it's about morality, and I think that'd be roughly right. When you think about morality, I'm guessing you're thinking about things like good and bad and right and wrong, and I think that'd be roughly right as well. So I think that in ethics, when you do ethics, you might think that there are 4 fundamental concepts that we begin with, and then there are others that come along afterwards. But the big 4 would be good, bad, right, and wrong. And ethics is, broadly speaking, about good, bad, right, and wrong. Now, the kind of ethics that we're doing in this class is different from many of the ethics, different from the kind of ethics you do in other ethics classes here at Cal Poly. So if you were to look at the Cal Poly ethics catalog, you would see all kinds of applied ethical courses. So there's going to be courses that involve thinking about, technology, ethics courses concerned with biomedical issues, and then ethical courses concerned with just generally social ethical issues. These are all what are called applied ethical issue courses. They concern specific problems or specific sets of problems that you might see talked about on evening news programs, in blogs, on YouTube channels, in podcasts, and the like. But this class is designed to be about theoretical ethical issues. So we're not an applied ethics course at all, although we may have to mention, or may be useful, serviceable, to discuss an applied ethical issue to help us understand a theoretical ethical issue. So this course is a theoretical ethics course. We'll be concerned with theories about goodness and badness. We call those value theories. We'll be concerned with theories about rightness and wrongness, which are taken to be distinct from value theories, and these are called normative theories. And then we'll be concerned with what's called the foundations of ethics, or sometimes we put it this way, we'll be concerned with the metaphysics, epistemology, and the semantics of ethics, the foundations of ethics. And there we're concerned with whether or not there's goodness at all. And if there is goodness, how do we know it? And What's the meaning of the term good? Just for example. And we could say the very same things about the normative theory. When we do this foundational ethics and deal with foundational ethical issues, we're also concerned with issues related to rightness. Are there any facts about rightness? If so, how do we know? And what's the meaning of the term right? So when we do the foundations of ethics, we do what's called meta-ethics. And so this course is going to be about value theory, normative theory, and meta-ethics. Those three major subdisciplines of ethics, which itself is a subdiscipline of philosophy. So hopefully I've situated the major subject matter of this course for you all. This is an ethics course, a theoretical ethics course, and we'll be concerned with value theory, normative theory, and meta-ethics. So that concludes my introduction to the class. There'll be much more introductory to say about the class as more videos come out, but I just wanted to give you at least a sense of what to expect in this class. Thank you all for watching, everybody, and be on the lookout for more videos soon. Bye-bye.